family members, and loved ones. By drinking less, we will save our relationship. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988. Brought to you by the DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree, and I didn't have one. I found out that we had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA. So for me, the Dope experience has been life-changing.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place to visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
This is On the Block with Strickland Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
And you're going to go out here at the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and youth basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Foreman. On air, online, presented by Nepco. This is On the Block.
Welcome in a wonderful Wednesday show. I'm Austin, joined by the Husker Hall of Famer, 9-year NBA veteran, Mr. Erick Strickland. We got lots of news to get to today. Oh, there it is. Oh, there it is. Back in full effect. We're here with you from 2:23, I guess it is now, till 4 o'clock or so. Lots to get to. In a couple minutes, we'll call up Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald, get his reaction to a couple pieces of news. First of all, Nebraska hiring a new athletic director, Troy Dannon, out of Washington. He was there for a whopping 6 months. We'll go over that with Evan, maybe touch on the present situation of Husker basketball. Obviously, the men and the women both playing A&M on Friday. And Husker baseball, good weekend. They swept Pickles and then got a win over Omaha last night. And hey, speaking of Omaha, speaking of the Mavs, your boy, Coach Crutch, going to join us.
Coach Crutch is going to join us on the clock at 3 o'clock. So we're going to have a good conversation, talk a little bit. Frank Miller, obviously is making some decisions. And as well as the players, they made a good run, come up a little short to South Dakota State. Mm-hmm. And
they lost to
Denver. That's right.
Mm-hmm.
They lost.
Mm-hmm. But it's a huge step forward for Coach Crutch and the Mavs. Tough first-year rebuilding sort of year. A lot of fun pieces. I know my buddies and I were following the Mavs from a distance, rooting them on. That's the league is so fun because you have South Dakota State that's been good for a while. North Dakota State popped up. Oral Roberts had its run, but they lost their head coach and their two best players from that run. Denver has one of the nation's leading scorers on the team. Omaha. And how about the Roos? Kansas City popped up, and I think it was in the top half of the Summit League as well. So
I'm actually impressed
with Denver. Check out stuff.
I'm actually impressed with Denver because when I was coaching some years ago, Denver was the D2, and they were really good and just really well coached, great place. To have a little college, and they stepped up, and I'm impressed. I'm impressed with what they've been able to build.
We're still looking for some of those all finesse team members in terms of contracts. Let us know. But really, how about this? Let's start with this. What grade do you give the Nebraska athletic director hire, Troy Dannon, on a traditional school grading scale, A to F? What grade do you give Nebraska and the president, Chris Borick, for the hire of Troy Dannon? We'll talk to Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald about that and plenty more when we get back on.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program. Hope is only a conversation away when you choose to share your talent, time, and heart with a child. Together, you can build a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future, 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree, and I didn't have one. I found out that they had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I got my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA. So for me, the donut experience has been life-changing.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry to learn more. And electrical. Action, plumbing, heating, air, and electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Life is all about balance, so how about a little sweet and a little heat to make your week? At Wings and Rings, we're introducing our all-new Hot Honey menu for the month of March. Try our one-of-a-kind house-made sauce on the brand-new Hot Honey chicken sandwich or our Hot Honey shrimp and slaw. And of course, you can get it on the traditional boneless or smoked wings that have made Wings and Rings your go-to neighborhood spot. But don't wait, Hot Honey is only here until April 1st. So stop by Wings and Rings at one of our 2 Lincoln locations today, on O Street and on Village Lane.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hello? Hello?
Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back on the block. Austin Norman, Erick Strickland with you. Thanks to Nebco for sponsoring the show. Thanks to Allo Fiber for sponsoring Channel 961, as well as our Allo VIP line, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We go to that VIP line now. We welcome in Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald. Evan, you and I were just joking off air. Another slow day. Had a lot of those recently, right? Good thing it's spring sports and not that much going on.
It's been a crazy week, man. I mean, it's spring football anyway. You've got a new AD, a new president, NCAA tournaments getting ready to get underway. It's just an unbelievable time. Lots going on.
NCAA tournament that you have to pay attention to, 2 of them, along with spring sports. But we'll jump into the AD, maybe the president, lots of Husker baseball. But just a quick note on spring football. Matt Rule's pre-spring press conference. What were your biggest takeaways from that?
Well, I think the opening 12 minutes or so absolutely stood out. I mean, we didn't kind of know what the message was going to be from Matt Rule, and he clearly had thought about it and articulated it well. And I think anyone who's heard Matt Rule speak in the 16 or so months that he's been in Lincoln or before that would say that maybe it was not a shock to see that he rose to the occasion and really put his leadership abilities on display. I mean, I kind of felt like maybe it was the most important press conference that he's had in his time at Nebraska amid all these changes, and just this idea that there is still a lot to be excited about, and he's not going anywhere. And he lays out reasons, both personal and professional, about why he's excited to be in Lincoln, and just kind of, it puts it all out there for people to see. And I think also just put forth a ringing endorsement about the opportunity for whoever that next AD would be. And we see, just a couple of days later that it's Troy Dannon from Washington. And you look back at that press conference, and it wasn't, I think, until 23 or so minutes into the thing when there were any actual football questions. But that's just sort of what it was a state of Husker athletics. He invoked a lot of other names from a lot of other sports, from, Keisei Tominaga to Jazz Shelley to many others, just about what a great place Nebraska is. And I thought it absolutely set a tone in a time when there was a lot of vitriol and confusion about Trev Albert's departure a week earlier.
When you think about that opening statement that was 12 minutes long from Matt Rule, when you think of Nebraska coaches, you think of the tenure of John Cook and Mark Manning, even Rhonda Revelle in that category. You think of the alum Will Bolt to some degree, even Fred Hoiberg in the midst of a little bit of a renaissance at Nebraska. Did a speech like that have to come from Matt Rule as the football coach, though?
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of the face of the athletic department. Part of that is just how it is at football school. I mean, the football coach is going to be your most forward-facing public figure, but I think it also is something that Matt Rule embraces. I mean, it's Nebraska's had coaches before that maybe would not want to embrace that kind of moment. They might put out a statement, and then they'd want to talk about position battles and team psychology and things like that. But Matt Rule, as we've seen at other stops, and certainly at Nebraska, like he's a leader, and I think he showed that. Certainly on Monday with some of the qualities that he was looking for in that next AD, but also just he has a way of flipping, I think, the perspective to be something that's positive and constructive. And he did that again when talking about Trev, and just this idea that, he was surprised, and maybe it revealed something going on within the university, but at the same time, it was an opportunity to reevaluate, to be unabashed, as he said, in a pursuit of excellence, and really using that as an opportunity to launch into something exciting into the future. So I think we saw that ability of his at work again. I think it inspired a lot of people. It's probably too soon to say whether a moment like that had any impact on Troy Dannon accepting the Nebraska job 2 days later, but you certainly would think he was aware of it and that it couldn't hurt.
Speaking of opportunities to launch, Washington to the Big Ten kind of feels like a failure to launch at this point to some degree. You look at Jen Cohen leaving them for USC, another Pac-12 rival that is becoming a Big Ten rival. They get Troy Dannon. 6 months later, he leaves, on top of Kalen DeBoer taking the Alabama job, losing a guy that became the face of your program in Michael Penix and the star-studded offensive members that are going there. Are you worried about Washington's transition to the Big Ten?
In the short term, sure. Yeah. I mean, you have to replace your coach. You have to replace now your AD. I think the style of play in the Big Ten is an adjustment. Just ask Nebraska fans from, a decade plus ago what that's like. I think a school like Oregon probably will make that transition fairly seamlessly. I think the other schools that are coming in, maybe a little bit less so. I mean, Washington obviously had a great season last year, but just given their state, and then I think you add UCLA and USC into that mix too. I mean, it's especially defensively, the challenges of stopping the run and all that you have to do. It's hard, and so Washington's going to have to navigate that style play change while it's learning how to travel 2 and 3 time zones away, while it's breaking in a new coach, while it's figuring out who its next AD is. And so, yeah, I mean, you're talking about a lot of change, a lot of variables, moving pieces right now. I think in the long term, they'll be fine. It's a program that has a lot of tradition, a lot of resources. We just seen how quickly things can turn around there if you have the right people aligned. But certainly in the short term, the outlook for Washington, from what you would have said in November or December to what it is now, would definitely be a drastic change just based on all the things that we've seen go on up in Seattle.
Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald is with us here on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber. A couple notes on Troy Dannon, Iowa guy, went to Northern Iowa. He's an alum, was the athletic director there, had a good stint at Tulane before accepting the Washington job. And there's always a connection kind of behind the scenes, Evan, when these deals get done. Rule and Dannon crossed paths in the American when Tulane was there and Rule was at Temple. Rule said he didn't have much of a personal relationship, but it was a professional one. Do you think Matt Rule's input was taken in hiring a guy like Troy Dannon, or do you think this was actually a Chris Kaborik and Board of Regents decision that was driven by?
Well, a lot of that will come out in the coming days and weeks as we get a chance to talk with Dannon further. But, just based on what Matt Rule said for a few minutes to a few of us in the media at Pro Day today, I mean, he did talk with them. They did speak. Rule kind of said he felt like Troy Dannon said this was just a place he wanted to be because it was home. And he's a guy from Iowa. He and his wife both have all their family in the state of Iowa. So they're and he's of a certain age that he can remember what Nebraska has been and what Nebraska can be. So, yeah, I think Matt Rule definitely had conversations, or at least a conversation with Dannon prior to him taking the job. As far as kind of what else went into that, I'm not sure. I mean, we'll kind of see as it goes. But again, he's a Midwest guy. I kind of like playing the connections game. Like he was the AD at UNI when Greg McDermott was there as coach. He was the AD at UNI when an assistant football coach by the name of Scott Frost was on his way up. So like he has some sort of interesting intersections with different points of Nebraska and state of Nebraska athletics that are kind of fascinating, that'll play out over time. And Matt Rule classified his relationship with Dannon as more professional than personal, just because of their time in the AAC together. But I thought maybe the biggest takeaway from what I heard Matt Rule say about it today was the hire of Dannon allows Rule now to focus on what he does best, which is being a head football coach, and letting Dannon assume those roles of the AD and do the things at that higher level that he's already been doing at other stops, most recently at Washington.
And some of those other things he's been doing include being on the football competition committee, on the football oversight committee, the constitutional committee, and the D1 transformation committee. That's a big deal, right? For Nebraska to have a seat at those tables and have a voice that's respected like that across college athletics.
Absolutely. Yeah. And you're talking about, a much shorter transition time into him sort of finding his own at Nebraska. I mean, he's been in on those Big Ten meetings now for a number of months. He's aware of the major issues going on across college football and in college athletics. So he's coming not just with expertise in running an athletic department and managing coaches and programs, but also has sort of that quality that Trev has, quite honestly, as a forward looking, 5 to 10 years into the future kind of guy, so that you can be prepared for some of the changes that are coming and not be caught flat-footed on that. So I think in a lot of ways, I mean, Dannon checks a lot of the boxes that you're looking for. Again, in terms of experience, he's been a sitting Power 5 AD in the conference, that he gets to stay in, and also has a view and a voice that go beyond just his athletic department. So in a lot of ways, extremely impressive hire, made all the much more so, I think, by the fact that they were able to turn this thing around in just a week.
You mentioned Pro Day. Anything stand out to you from your time there?
Yeah, I mean, the surprise of the day was Dylan Raiola coming out to throw. So that was pretty fun to see. I mean, he's done that at the high school level and a number of different recruiting showcases during his high school time, but it was that first chance to get to see him in Nebraska gear in the Hawks Center sling it around. And it's really, I mean, it was impressive to see in person. There's no doubt. I posted out a video of him from 45 yards away, just kind of flicking a ball to Malachi Coleman. And it looked effortless and accurate and all the rest. So I don't know that it's going to do anything to take away from the hype machine that's around Dylan Raiola right now. But I think, just as cool was the fact that he was throwing for some guys who will end up not being his teammates. Billy Kemp and Anthony Grant and Josh Fleeks all caught balls from him today. And I thought it was interesting afterwards hearing some of their comments about how impressive Raiola was in throwing those balls and how much his presence actually allowed those older players to showcase their abilities, right? They were able to showcase their route running and how they can catch balls and not have to worry about the accuracy coming toward them. So that was a pretty cool thing today. And in terms of numbers and everything, we'll kind of see. A lot of the players didn't necessarily know. I think Luke Reimer felt like he had a pretty good day. Quentin Newsome. And as Matt Rule said Monday, really the best thing those guys could do was go out and run fast and put up good times and give themselves a little bit more consideration when it comes to either the NFL draft or free agent signing period afterward. It kind of looked like anecdotally that Phelan Sanford had a really good run to start on the 40. Maybe he was able to crack the sub 4.4 time, which would be really good for him. He wasn't quite sure. But relatively a quiet pro day by Nebraska standards. They didn't have anybody at the combine again this year. So hopefully for their sakes, they were able to impress some scouts, and we'll see kind of how that bears out after the draft here next month.
I'd love to keep diving into the Dylan Raiola stuff, but I do want to touch on Husker baseball here for a couple minutes, Evan. Pretty good weekend for the Huskers against Nichols. Nail biter in game one, then a couple results that weren't really ever in doubt. Your takeaways from the Huskers sweep of Nichols this weekend?
Yeah, I mean, they're rolling. It was obviously anytime you sweep is impressive, and Nichols came in at 17-3, albeit against a pretty weak schedule, but Nebraska was able to take care of business. And I think just sort of big picture, like the depth of the team continues to stand out to me. I mean, if you have an outfielder that you feel like is struggling a little bit, you have like two or three guys behind him who can come in. You look at what Rhett Stokes did. He was a guy coming into the year that Nebraska kind of viewed as a utility guy, maybe a backup to different infield positions. And because of the Caden Brumbaugh injury, he's been at second, and he's hitting over 400 now. You look at Will Walsh, who comes in as sort of a two-way player in name, but hadn't really gotten much opportunity with a bat. He comes in Saturday and Sunday and and combines for 8 RBIs and 2 home runs. So like just the fact that Nebraska's finding ways to win from so many different people, I think is the most impressive thing. We saw it again Tuesday in their win over Omaha, where they go up 8-0. They pinch hit Case Sanderson in the middle of the game, and he gets on base a couple of times. The bullpen was impressive again there. So I think that's probably the most encouraging thing for Nebraska baseball is there's not necessarily 1 or 2 stars like we saw last year with Bryce Matthews and Max Anderson, but there's so many guys who are contributing, and it's adding up to a pretty good record so far.
And then last night they beat Omaha. Nebraska struggled with Omaha last year. I know, a guy like Mike Bovee gone, but the Rand Sanders revenge game goes Nebraska's way. Mason McConaughey impressed on the mound. Your takeaways from his first start?
Right. I mean, that's another example, I think, of just the depth that this team has. I mean, he was a guy who came to Nebraska in the offseason. He was a junior college player in Kansas who comes in and struggled a little bit in the fall with his command and sort of belief that his stuff would play at that high of a level. And he's had some really good relief appearances for Nebraska. They give him his first start against Omaha, and he strikes out 9, which is more than any Husker pitcher struck out in a game this season. So I think, you listen to Will Bolt after the game, like that's the kind of performance that puts him in the conversation for a weekend rotation spot moving forward. And so it won't be this weekend, obviously, but I think when you look ahead to Big Ten play next week, as they get rolling with that, I think McConaughey absolutely put his name in that discussion to maybe be that Sunday guy just because of that swing and miss ability, his ability to go deeper into games, and just how far he's come, even in the last month, sort of convincing himself and certainly opposing batters that his stuff will play at this level. So, if Nebraska really starts taking off with its weekend rotation, then maybe, sort of a one-off Tuesday night against Omaha is the game that people will remember where Mason McConaughey really started to show what he could do.
And then the real question on everyone's mind, does Nebraska go 2-0 in the Trev Alberts Bowls this weekend?
I think there's a good chance. Yeah. I mean, I like the women's matchup, quite honestly. I think they have probably the two most skilled players on the court, and Jazz Shelley and Alexis Markowski, and just the way that they're playing, the level they're playing at right now. I like their chances. And then, on the men's side, it's a really fascinating matchup where you've got the uber athletic Texas A&M lineup that maybe can't shoot all that well, but it really gets after it on the boards. And you got Nebraska that's the opposite. I think it really comes down to the tone that you set. Can Nebraska take that lead and sort of force Texas A&M to play catch up when maybe that's not its strong suit? I think that's probably the key is how fast of a start can Nebraska or A&M get off to. But yeah, it feels like a team that's aware of its place in history, but maybe not overwhelmed by the moment. I think that's just the sweet spot that you need to be in for Nebraska to end this drought in the NCAA. So I'm going to say yes, but I think they'll both be pretty entertaining games.
There we go. It's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald with us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber. If you caught the conversation, we covered a lot of ground with Evan. Make sure you go to omaha.com, read his stuff, follow him on Twitter at Evan Bland, OWH. Evan, as always, appreciate your time. We'll catch up next week.
Thanks, Austin. See ya.
Once again, Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Aloe Fiber, where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. 10 minutes. Chris Crutchfield, Omaha men's basketball head coach. I want Stricky to pick his brain. I'm excited to hear that conversation. Lots to get to with the coach, but before we get to that, we'll discuss Fred Hoiberg's contract extension announced about 4:30 yesterday. Get Stricky's thoughts on that to round out hour one of On the Block next. Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebcoinc.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
If you're in Seward or Milford, listen up. Select Plumbing is now servicing your area with no trip charges from Lincoln. Select Plumbing works on a variety of issues for your home and business, including general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, underground sewer and water repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate, 402-560-6197. It's not just Lincoln, Waverly, and the surrounding area anymore. It's also Seward and Milford with no trip charges. Contact Select Plumbing to inquire at 402-560-6197.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It will be breezy and a little cooler. We'll see an afternoon high around 49. Tonight, probably cloudy, low around 29. And tomorrow, we'll see probably sunny skies, a little breezy, but a little warmer, a high around 58. Our meteorologist Kyle Tucker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, folks. Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and the Chevrolet and GMC Truck Month is now underway. We've got huge savings in Louisville. Get $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months on select models. Yes, you heard right. That's $9,000 off or 1.9% for 72 months happening right now at Koppel. So take that short money saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All deals with roof credit. Stock number G214773.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild. but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today. Start your Sundays off right with Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Tanner's Bar and Grill is the perfect place to watch the NCAA tournament from the round of 64 all the way to the championship. Bring your friends and family in to enjoy Tanner's delicious hamburgers, chicken lips, and daily specials, and wash it down with one of their tons of options of beers. You'll never have an issue finding the game, as there are TVs everywhere throughout the space. So get in early, grab your spot, and settle in for a day of NCAA tournament basketball at Tanner's Bar and Grill, 30th and Yankee Hill.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Wrapping up hour one of On the Block, Austin Norman and Erick Strickland with you. Didn't get a chance to talk about this because it broke after we were off the air. Again, we're 2 to 4 here, 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com on weekdays. Keep your grades coming in for the letter grade you give Nebraska for the hire of Troy Dannon, the new athletic director. Before he even got here, Strick, one day, 18 hours or so, Fred Hoiberg, contract extension through the 28-29 season. He'll make $4.25 million next year, a jump of about $700,000 from $3.5 million, get an extra $100,000 every year after that. Your reaction to the Fred Hoiberg contract extension?
Well, so this is something that we have talked about, right? So much instability, don't have the president, now don't have an AD. How will individuals like Coach Rule, who has now come out and spoken and inspired about his means of staying. Then you look at Hoiberg, who was next. Successful jump. We've seen the progression. We've seen the plan. The thing is, okay, and this is just a reference of what we're talking about. The thing is, okay, so I watch a lot of shows, like, for example, I watched like The Blacklist.
Good show.
Great show, by the way. And I watch a lot of other types of shows that I can explain this in this manner. You go in, you sit down with a district attorney, or you sit down with a CIA operative, or you sit down with a government official, or the leader of whatever department that is a 3-letter department, whatever the case may be. And you negotiate terms for whatever it is that you have to sell, right? And that person's in position. He has to go and make a decision. But then that person's moved out of the position, and you have to talk to a whole nother person. The next person that walks in the door, you don't know. They don't know what the other person had to say, what they gave you, what they offered you. You have no clue, and you have nothing you have to stand by about whatever went with that deal that you had in place before, right? So when a new AD comes, there's a lot of uncertainty that comes with that, because you may not be their guy. You don't know what Trev and you guys had going on sitting in those offices over there, what the understanding was by if I'm able to bring us out of this Dungeons and Dragons type of moment, that what would be on the other side of that for me, right? The other guy don't have to adhere to any of that. So the fact that, long-standing Dennis LeBlanc, he's been around
40 years.
He was around when I was around. He still looks the same, by the way. I might want to,
down to youth.
Might want to throw something at him for that, because I don't like the fact that he looks younger than me. But nonetheless, Dennis LeBlanc understood, probably was around, knows some of the stuff, and is appreciative of what he and just kind of eliminate that deal. Now, I don't know what's going on with, Coach Williams. We don't know what's going on with Coach Bolt, but you want to kind of start those processes and at least making you feel a little bit comfortable. And we know that Dannon's he's a very, very football guy.
Very football guy.
So I'm sure a lot of other people, even volleyball, has got to feel like, well, dang, at least Trev was around. You know what I mean? So it's a lot of uncertainty. And I think shoring up that uncertainty, because it's going to be tough to go out and find a good basketball coach at this point in time to come in and fill that void, if you happen to just come in and let him go.
There's lots to get to on that front. I want to get us to break so we make sure we get to Coach Crutch on time. Yeah, a lot of questions for other sports. The football focus makes sense at Nebraska. How do you cover your holes and your weaknesses? Do you hire other people to oversee those sports, associate ADs or something, a basketball administrator? I don't know, because now would be a terrible time to stop that momentum for the Huskers Hoops program. Plenty more to get to, but let's go to break. Let's call up Omaha men's basketball head coach Chris Crutchfield. Talk with him after this. Constructors is now hiring for all positions, with laborers starting at $23 and up based on experience. Constructors has immediate job openings for laborers, mechanics, bridge builders, operators, and drivers. Start your new career today. Constructors offers great pay, health, dental, and vision insurance, paid time off, paid holidays, and so much more. Join the crew today and be a part of Nebraska's oldest paving company dating back to 1908. For a complete list of openings and to apply online, visit constructorslincoln.com.
Hello? Hello?
Believe it or not, old phones are one of the most common pain points in offices today. Many of these phones are beyond repair because parts aren't available to fix outdated devices. Whether it's a traditional phone system or cloud-based VoIP technology, Hamilton Business Phones can help upgrade your connection. We make it easy to sync your office phone with your cell for seamless call handling, no matter where you work. If your current office phone can't do this, you deserve better. Hire your local experts. Hire Hamilton at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Mosaic is a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that embraces God's call and relentlessly pursues opportunities that empower people with diverse needs to live their best lives. Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska, serving Lincoln and Beatrice, would like to invite you to their monthly Discover the Possibilities tour events. Events are held on the third Wednesday of every month and are a great way to understand Mosaic's mission. To RSVP, please contact Melindy at 402-429-0088 or visit mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those magical 2 days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 21st and 22nd at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday and get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
A lot of work goes into making Nebraska, Nebraska. Keeping it green. Helping it thrive. Making it fun. Everything that goes into caring for our outdoors, from waters to wildlife, plays a big role in making Nebraska home. Learn how we help conserve our state's natural resources at outdoornebraska.org.
Paid for by Nebraska Game and Parks. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
This is On the Block with Strickland Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Erick Strickland.
Strickland for three. And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Presented by NIPCO. This is On the Block with Strickland Austin.
Yeah. We are back on the block, the 3 o'clock hour. Thank you for joining in. We're appreciative of everything you guys continually do in support of this show on the block, as well as 937 The Ticket. And Allo, joining us on the Allo VIP line. And what is it, Austin, that Allo does so wonderfully?
Exceptional service with local heart.
Exceptional service with local heart. Allo VIP line joining us is the illustrious, the great, the mighty, the strong, the fervent, Chris Crutchfield, University of Omaha. What's going on, my friend? How are you?
Rick, how you doing, buddy? Good to talk to you, man. I don't know about all those words you said to describe me. I don't know about all that.
Well, Chris, what's so beautiful about you and I, man, is we do share some wonderful things. One, some time in the Omaha area together. You also being a multi-sport athlete, playing two sports as well and doing them at a high level. You spent some time down in Texas. Like we've been around each other a lot, man. You were in Texas, I'm in Texas. And, also, one thing I'll say, Crutch, man, is I was very appreciative. And some of you don't know, like, I was actually coaching at a time. And during my coaching period, I got a chance to spend some time with Chris Crutchfield. He advocated for me with Lon Kruger. You don't know how close I was close to being in a different type of red as a coach. Almost down there in Oklahoma. And it was really close to getting done, you guys. And Chris was one of the advocates of that, man. I appreciate you as always. So, Chris, thank you for joining us. Wonderful season this year at the University of Omaha as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I remember those days, man. Yeah. And you made a good decision not to coach. I just want you to know that.
Yeah, Chris, I mean, I will say this has been a lot more fun because who would have known that the doggone NIL and all these other crazy dynamics that come with coaches would have popped up?
You got that right.
Coach, first of all, heck of a season in year 2. Huge improvement. You knock off an NCAA tournament team in Stetson. You play some other tournament teams down in Texas. What went into your scheduling for this year? Was it an attempt to push your team? What went into your scheduling and trying to grow your team through the schedule?
Well, one, we did want to push them, but a couple of those games are guaranteed games, or money games that we had to play to kind of earn some revenue. The other ones, those non-conference games, the teams that are like us, and we wanted to go, whether it be at home or on the road, we wanted to kind of get tested and kind of see where we are. And then there's a Big Sky Summit League Challenge that they started up to help us with scheduling, to give us like opponents on the road and home. So the Northern Arizona Idaho State game was that type of game, which the teams are similar to us. So we was kind of trying to be real strategic in this second year and not schedule the way we inherited the first year and not have so many games on the road. And it worked out pretty good. We played in a multi-team event in Colorado, and which was at Air Force Academy. I thought that worked out pretty good to challenge our team. But the Summit League was as crazy and challenging as we thought it was going to be this year. The parity was unbelievable. I mean, anybody from from 3 to 8 to 9 could have won the league, we think. And you saw that a little bit in the conference tournament.
You look at all the teams in your league, Coach, and all of them have had their chance. They've had their run before. But as we focus on your team, to you, from year 1 to year 2, what was the biggest leap you saw from your group of guys?
Probably just the experience. Guys was older. We had a core group that we kept together, that we brought back. And just those guys knowing what the Summer League was all about. And they had been together all summer. We took a trip to Costa Rica with this group, and I thought that really helped galvanize our chemistry. And, and we benefited from it. So I thought it helped us. And I also say this, we lost a bunch of close games that came down to the last 1 or 2 possessions of the game. And those are the steps you take when you're building a program. So I like where we are. I like what we're building. Now we just got to open the door to put some more people on the train, because some people got off the train, and the train's going to keep moving.
That's for sure. But here's the thing, Coach, is this is one of the things we saw here at the University of Nebraska, and how tough it can be, because one, you have to not only recruit the kids that this is what's uniquely different than in the past. You have to recruit the kids that are still on campus with you. Normally you used to get them on campus, you've got them, you plot a plan to build them, make them better, get the team better, work around, what you're going to have in the next couple of years. You kind of plot that out. Now you got to recruit the guys on campus, recruit the guys off campus, and then still try to figure out a great mix. But one of the things that's similar to what you are doing and what Nebraska has done, started off in a similar manner. Your first year at Omaha, was a struggle. It was tough trying to figure it out. Ended up 10th in the conference. But you grew. I mean, you won 5-6 more games this year. You moved up into the conference, similar to what we expected. The expectation for Nebraska, we felt this year, was to jump from that 10th slot to get into about that 6 and 5 slot. And you're seeing that progression. And so based on what you have on campus, obviously tough loss, it could happen, could return. With Frankie deciding to jump in the portal, because that was definitely a great find, and a mainstay for you. But how do you view things now going forward with the landscape of recruiting and having to deal with the things you have to deal with today?
Well, the good thing about Eric is myself and one of our assistants, we both have junior college experience. So the recruiting is almost like junior college now. You have a guy for 1, maybe 2 years, and your recruiting class now will consist of getting 5 to 6 guys, and they're just the landscaping of college basketball is going to be, and we're okay with that. We're okay with that. But part of it, I think, as you mentioned, when I came in, I had a vision and a plan to the way I recruited, and we wanted to keep this group together for 3 to 4 years to try to develop a culture and have that continued culture to grow and guys develop. Now, in year 3 or year 4, you have a group of 7, 8, 9 guys that have been together for 2 to 3 years. And I think that's how you win at this level. Now, unfortunately, the transfer portal has changed that a little bit more now, because guys come and go, and your core group might not be that core group that you was counting on initially. And that's where we are. And we got to make some adjustments and go get some more pieces, and that's not a problem. You know me, I can recruit with the best of them.
That's a fact.
But I'm excited. Now I get to get challenged again to try to figure out a new way of doing things with these new rules and the new NIL and with the transfer portal.
Coach, you mentioned the plan, right? Keep the guys together for 3 or 4 years. How important is it for you to have that support from your athletic director, Adrian Dowell, behind you to believe in your vision and help you see it through?
Oh, it's unbelievable. Unbelievable. You got to have that in this day and age, because these changes are drastic, especially for us at the mid-major level. At the high level in the Big Ten or the Pac-12 or even the Big 12 places that I've been, you can recover. When you lose a 15 to 20 point score, you can go out and get another 15 to 20 point score if you have NIL. At this level, when you lose that, it's hard to replace it, especially a guy that's been in the program for 2 to 3 years. So that's where we are, and that's the challenge of where we are right now, is trying to blend it together with some different guys and do it a different way. And you might not have a guy that scores 23 a night. You might have 2 guys that get 15 and 10.
Yeah. Crutch, now there's been cycles that have kind of happened in the state of Nebraska with players at high level calibers, right? Obviously you can go back into that time when it was me and Andre and Badge and Bruce and Glock and just that whole cycle. And then there was a little drop off, and then there's another cycle that comes, and then you get the Chuckies and you get the Salises and you get the Drysdale Juniors, and now you're seeing what even St. Thomas is doing, where all these young men are playing astronomically for their programs right now, right?
Right.
What do you feel about this next group that you've been watching? How important is in-state recruitment for you to build that foundation, for yourself and your program?
It's really important, and that's been a focal point, Eric. And this is a good question. I'm glad you asked that, because we feel like Omaha has really good high school basketball. And you mentioned the cycles, and I happen to be around during those cycles of all those good players that have come through. Even what's the kid name that played at Creighton Prep back in the day? TJ Pugh.
Yeah, Pugh. Yeah.
Like guys like that. There's a lot of guys that come through and their recruiting don't get to the level like your recruiting got to, and Andre. But the 25 class here in Omaha is really, really good. And I can't mention people's names, but we know there's a really good player at Pavilion South that we're chasing down. There's a good player at Scott that we're chasing down, and Westview got a good player, and we're on it, and we're actively recruiting those guys, and Omaha Bryant got a couple good players over there that we all know about. So I think the 25 class is exceptional, and our job now to try to get one or two of those guys to stay home.
Let's just quickly talk about that, because now you got a chance to watch Wisconsin and just give your perspective on I would love to get your perspective on who you really perceive to maybe have next level abilities to have some success and some staying power at the next level. But I my sleeper though, and because this is personal, I want that just table that, because I really want your thoughts like on Salas and Chucky, and as you've watched them throughout the tournaments and their conference tournaments and so forth and so on, who you think's got that next level staying power. But my sleeper is William Kyle Jr. Like, young fella gets it. Like, I've been telling people about that young fella for a long time. Yeah, he's raw, but what does that young fella need to do to take another step to the next level? I love your perspective, because you got to see him up close and personal.
I think the next step for William Kyle is to get into the gym with someone that can help him develop his skill level outside of 4 feet from the rim. Being able to step out and make a 15-footer is a start. He's developed a left hand and right hand jump hook. He didn't have that last year, so you see his game changing and developing even within a year's time. So I can only imagine his best basketball is ahead of him. Do I think he can make money playing basketball? Yes. Can he play at the highest level? Yes. Because of his toughness and his athleticism, he can play at any Power 5 conference school. I do know that. But he has to develop a skill, that allow him to not just be a dunker and a jump hooker. He got to have some skill to be able to shoot an elbow jump shot or a short corner jump shot. And later on, if you really want to make money, you probably got to develop a three-point shot.
Coach, a lot of talent in your league, as I think people sleep on. It's been that way for a while. A guy that had my eye was a guy that made a run through the Summit League tourney. Tommy Bruner, second leading scorer in the country. What do people need to know about that young man?
Oh, he's a dog. He's a dog, man. He's a tough kid. He defends everybody's best guard, which is rare, and he can score. He's developed his three-point shot to be more consistent. So he's just a tough kid with a strong body. He knows how to manufacture a shot. And that's why I tell people, this league is so underestimated, man, in the scores that they have. And you've seen these guys move on. Like Grant Nelson leaves North Dakota State and go to Alabama. I mean, Baylor Sharman, who's had a great year, 2 years at Creighton. There's been so many guys move on to go to other places that let you know how good the league is.
That's a fact, Crutch. Now check this out, man. Answer that next level. Who do you think you can give me a couple? Who do you think really has that next level ability and their skill set that would help them to be able to shine at the next level? But also, tell us about. I want that question first, but tell us about the importance of staff and creating a culture, and the importance of getting that buy-in. You know what I mean? And how difficult that is in today's landscape with everything going on.
Well, if you talk about guys that in our league that we think that can play at the next level, or you're talking about guys from Nebraska?
Well, just the local kids that you've been able to observe, even in your league, if that's the case. But yeah, definitely.
For instance, I'm in the gym last summer. I had the privilege to watch Hunter work out, Chucky work out. I do think Hunter Size can play in the NBA because of his skill set and his length. And he can handle the ball, and he's every bit of 6'5", 6'6", and the dude got a 7-foot wingspan. You know how NBA guys like wingspans. and he's one that can definitely do it. I think Chucky's going to have a chance just because he is the ideal prototypical NBA point guard that's the great setup guy. And he's quick enough to force rotations and play off ball screens. He knows how to manipulate his defender in ball screen situation, and that is the NBA. Whether he get a shot or not, I don't know. I think someday Frankie Philly's going to have a shot to make money playing basketball. If you go down the line and start looking at Nebraska guys that have a chance, man, it's shocking almost. It's shocking because you never saw that before. But no, there's so many other guys in our league that are so much talented. I mean, the kid at North Dakota who just put his name in the portal, Omot, is a very talented player, 6'7" wing, that can do everything.
Like what style for him?
OJ Mayo.
Like
OJ
what style for Omot? Like what would be a good fit, like team wise? Like, you know what I mean, for a guy like him? Like, is it like an Illinois or is it like an Oregon? Like what would what do you
probably
think?
An Oregon team that get up and down the floor, that play with some pace, that open the floor up for guys like that. Because he's not a bruiser now. He's every bit of under 200 pounds, but he's slick with the ball. He's smooth. He can shoot it. He can slash with it. And I don't know if he can be in the Big Ten where it's more physical and guys beat you up and hold you and grab you. I don't think he can do that because he don't have that body.
Right.
But he's an SEC athlete. Now we don't have a Pac-12 anymore, so it'd be interesting to see what league he could play in.
Coach, you mentioned the change year to year, trying to get your team, your program developed. We've seen plenty of talented guys from your league take a step up. We've, to the high major level, we've seen plenty of guys, though, find a home at the mid-major level and be Summit League stars and go on to great things. What is your sales pitch and your staff sales pitch to those players that makes them want to make Omaha their last stop in college?
Well, we talk about legacy, especially the local guys. We talk about legacy. One day you're going to be old like me and Eric, and you're going to have to bring your kids around and show them the pictures and show them what you've done in college. And I just think if you don't have a legacy to be at a place for a long period of time, you just one of the guys now, and no one's remember you. Right? Look, perfect example. Erick Strickland finished his career. He's back in Omaha, Lincoln. That's where he's at because that's home, right? That's where people remember him. So our sale is to local guys and guys in our area. Like, you can stay in Omaha and accomplish everything that you want to accomplish because we're building a program and eventually we're going to be a team that's contending for an NCAA tournament every year. So now you got that in your back pocket. Plus, you're going to be one of the guys in this community that everybody remembers. At some point, the ball's going to stop bouncing. and you got to get a real job for the next 35 years. So where would that be for you? It's probably going to be in Omaha in the surrounding area. So our sales pitches, you can get everything accomplished here in Omaha. We're building a program that people are going to be proud of. So we want you to stay.
Are the guys that you bring in from Texas, Oklahoma, across the country surprised when they get to Omaha about how much of a hoops hotbed it can be and all the opportunities there?
No doubt about it. They're surprised at the community involvement. They're surprised that this state and this city is a sports town. And of course, we have a great arena to play in to sell. Our guys live in a good location in Exarban, where it's ideal for a college student. And it's we one of the top universities in the country with University of Nebraska Omaha. So we got a lot to sell.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of people don't know, and that's our job. And that's why I think it's important to answer Erick's question about our staff is you got to have a staff that understands it, that knows what they're looking for and know what they're selling. Then you got to keep that staff together, because I think people a lot of times make mistakes, and we invest in buildings and facilities, and we don't invest in the people. And at the end of the day, we're in a people's business, and we want to keep our staff together, and sometimes that costs. And we have a really good staff here, and we're building something special here. And I've been blessed because I've kept them together here going into year 3 now.
Yeah. Crush, that's one of the things that, and we'll maybe ask one more question and get you out of here, but we do appreciate you for joining us on the block. Chris Crutchfield, University of Omaha head coach, has joined us here on the block. And listen, we had an opportunity to sit down. We've got an opportunity to go play golf, and we will do so again soon.
Yes.
But I will say that, I was very appreciative because I know you understand that part. And I've talked with off air and stuff with some of my, partners here and just friends and stuff like that. And I tell them all the time, Crutch, and just to tap in on what you just said, I say, listen, they'll hire a lot of guys here and pay them a whole bunch of money. And these guys will come here to the state because they don't understand it. They don't know and understand the people. They don't know, and understand the community and that connection. And they just think they can just come and just bring it just because you either got resources or and at the end of the day, it's tough because you really gotta get in here and get a feel for the people, the community, the state. Mm-hmm. And so when we've sat down, that's one of the things I've appreciated about you. I mean, we've had a chance to talk, and I've always told you that if there's anything I could ever do to help you there in Omaha, I would do it, because that's how much I know you care about the community. And any young man that's being recruited by you that happens to be listening, or a parent that's listening to this show, I can assure you that Chris Crutchfield is one of one. He's one of them that's authentic. He's genuine. He will teach your young man the right way to play the game. And I would literally work for him in a heartbeat. That's how much I feel about him and the program and what he's doing there at Omaha. Even though obviously I'm a University of Nebraska guy, I'm still a Nebraska guy. And that's the one thing I don't think people understand that, and I pray and hope continued success for you as you continue to walk this out, as you go into the recruiting process now that's ahead.
Thank you very much, man. I appreciate you saying that. It means a lot. You know how much I appreciate your friendship. I mean, we go back 25 years now, it seems like. And I always appreciate good friendships, and how we can reconnect no matter where we're living at is unbelievable. And I appreciate your friendship, man. Thanks for having me on, guys. I really appreciate it. And we'll keep this train moving. Keep this train moving. I'm excited about the future here, and I do have support from our administration. Our chancellor has been great, and it's part of the rebuild process, and that's where we're right in the middle of it right now. I'm still excited. I get up every morning excited and fired up about how we can help our kids, and I think we have a holistic program in place right now, and we're only going to go up from here.
Coach, it's beautiful. We see it. We truly do appreciate the time. We'll be watching. We'll be rooting. Thanks a ton for joining us today.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, Greg. See you guys.
Yes, sir.
There it is. Chris Crutchfield, head coach of Omaha men's basketball, with us on our VIP line, brought to you by
Allo, who is good at exceptional service with local heart.
With a Stricky local heart, a Nebraska guy, a Nebraska heart. They get it.
They get it. They get it. Exceptional service with local heart. They get it.
So does Coach Crutch. Really appreciate him spending some time with us here today. We'll get that up podcasted for you. Make sure you check it out. Listen back at some point. We'll take a break. Plenty to get to when we get back. Do we talk Husker Pro Day? Do we talk Husker women's and men's basketball? Who's got more at stake? Lots of headlines to get to here in the Huskerverse. More on the block next.
Go Hog Wild Pit Barbecue.
Pre-order your Hog Wild slow smoked Easter ham today. Hog Wild selects the highest quality whole ham and slow smokes them until they're tender and delicious. Our 100% boneless ham is approximately 4 pounds and $50. Pre-order online at GoHogWild.com. Quantities are limited. Hog Wild Pit Barbecue, 3210 Cornhusker Highway in Lincoln.
But don't be late, we close at 8.
Nebco is hiring CDL drivers for Ready Mixed Concrete, Husker Concrete, and Beatrice Concrete. Nebco offers great pay, medical and retirement benefits, paid time off, and they pay for CDL training. Apply today and start your new career with a $2,500 hiring bonus. From Nebco's beginning in 1908, it's the employees that have formed the company's solid foundation. Start your career today. Visit nebco8.com. That's NEBCOINC.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather.
Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
Your Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see mainly sunny skies. It will be breezy and a little cooler. We'll see an afternoon high around 49. Tonight, probably cloudy, low around 29. And tomorrow, we'll see probably sunny skies, a little breezy, but a little warmer, a high around 58. I'm meteorologist Kyle Klecker for 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way. You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Ready to upgrade your combine in 2024? The team at Landmark Implement is here to help you find the right combine to fit your operations needs. Choose from 4.9% for up to 60 months or a 12-month interest waiver, followed by John Deere financial rates with approved credit through the end of March. When you purchase a pre-owned S or X Series combine from Landmark, know you are backed by Landmark's extensive parts and service network with mobile techs and parts drop-off points to keep you up and running. View our current inventory online at landmarkimp.com or stop by your local Landmark to experience the Landmark difference.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family, and as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through March 24th, enjoy Lincoln's favorite 8-ounce bacon-wrapped sirloin or 4-ounce fresh salmon portions for $3.99 each. Get ahead for your Easter dinner with Fairway Pit hams, fresh lamb roast, or ribeye roast. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
93.7 The Ticket is proud to provide listeners with daily opportunities to win contests and prizes on our airwaves, and would like to take this opportunity to remind you of a couple rules. All participants must be 21 or older and must wait 30 days after winning a prize before participating in another contest. Once you win, you have 30 days to pick up your prize at the K&TK Studios, 1040 O Street in Lincoln, or your prize will be forfeit. Thank you for participating in our contest, and thank you for listening to 93.7 The Ticket.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Rolling right along on the block, hour 2. Huge thanks to Chris Crutchfield, Omaha men's basketball head coach, for joining us on the block. Hey, pays to know people. Pays to have a guy like Stricky who has connections. And where did you first meet Crutch officially?
So Crutch, I was in high school, and Crutch and Stubblefield were, good buddies of mine now. They were both at Omaha.
As in Tony?
Tony Stubblefield.
Yeah.
They were both at the University of Omaha playing basketball at the time. And so obviously I was a local up and coming kid, me and Dre and Badge. And so they would come sometimes check us out, and we would go maybe watch some UNO games every now and then. But then we would play in like leagues, summer leagues, like Idleman. So there was only a certain group of the high school
invite
guys,
only sort of thing.
Yeah, invite only that they would allow play in some of these leagues. It just wasn't everybody. And so we would get to compete against them, and just over the years we just stayed in touch. They happened to be coaching in Texas when I was playing with the Mavs, and you could do this back then, but I was a big recruiting tool for them because they would call me up and be like, Strick, can I get a couple to the game? Sure, man, I got you. I'd be at the house and we may be having a little get together or a little pool party or something. They'd be like, Strick, can we bring the recruit by? Yeah, come on, man, bring him by. And I would just introduce myself to them and meet them, and they would get to kind of see, and sometimes it would inspire them to come. So it was a really good, long-lasting relationship. And as I said, I'm serious. I was really close. Lon was really close to hiring me down in Oklahoma. And
would that have been weird wearing Oklahoma Crimson instead of Husker Scarlet?
It would have been wild, but like I said, at that time, I had spoken in, instances with, the coaches that were at Nebraska, and it just wasn't, there wasn't much interest there from that at that point. And so, like I said, friend, brought me in, and I drove in and had good conversations with them, and it was close. Actually, I there was two places I was close. Stubbs was up in Oregon. I was close there. He brought me in, and
would you have done that? That's so close to Vancouver.
Oh yeah, I would have done it. Yeah, and they knew me because Altman obviously was at Creighton when I was in Nebraska. But I understand the move that they made. They ended up hiring Fred Jones, who I played with at Indiana.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So they ended up hiring Fred, and to this day, Fred, you was a rookie coming in. You lucky I was a nice guy. I let you have 20. I let him, have 20. He was a rookie, but I took 21 because I played at college with 21, so I didn't really matter. But yeah, so he came back and he took the position that I would have taken. And I get that. He was, he had a great career there at Oregon.
The news of the day, staying on the basketball front, is Nebraska hiring the new athletic director. And Strick, as we look up and down his resume, it's football, football, football.
Yeah.
But Nebraska men's and women's basketball, both in the NCAA tournament for the first time together since 2014. The women have, of course, made a couple appearances. Would it be a smart move for Troy Dannon, the athletic director, or Rodney Bennett, the chancellor, if it's Jeff Gould, the new president, to take the step of saying, we want a basketball administrator in place, whether it's an associate AD, it's a new title, whatever. I feel like if Troy Dannon, he obviously wouldn't just focus on football, but football has consumed a good chunk of his time at previous stops, will again at a football, state like Nebraska. Would it be smart for Nebraska to try to keep this momentum going by hiring a basketball lifer to oversee scheduling, help with recruiting, and just be there as a resource for the basketball coaches?
No. So I'm even going to spread it out a little bit further than that, because I think if you're going to do that, you maybe would do that for a basketball administrator for both sides.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't want to leave out, because volleyball is very important.
Especially if there's transition at the coach at some point.
Yeah, softball is very good. So I wouldn't want to leave. So I would say, if you're going to do that, then sprinkle it out, have multiples, maybe a group that covers volleyball, softball, and track.
Do you combine baseball and softball? Maybe different.
You could,
I don't know.
But just maybe have 3 people. If you want to do, like, I would say personally, if I did it, I would do basketball, both men and women, with wrestling. And then I would have somebody do volleyball, maybe track and gymnastics, and just have them do 3 or where they're just really focused on making sure that the department has a great liaison between those groups, so that then, if he wants to focus, that he would be able to do so, and just allow those individuals to hone in and make sure that those other programs are getting what they need as well.
The reason I bring that up is because I think of a guy like Bruce Rasmussen at Creighton, who was the AD for a long time, has done a lot of help in basketball administration. A name like Garth Glissman comes to mind, who it would be probably a step back because he's a higher up in the SEC offices now. But think about the transformation SEC basketball has undergone. They said they got tired of losing, so the SEC office hired people to make basketball better, with refs, with scheduling, helped coaches with recruiting. Maybe the Big Ten needs to do that, but if you're Nebraska, go do that on your own and get ahead of the curve.
Well, here's why I say that. These programs need more, because the NIL situation, you want to be able to kind of take those off of the plate of an Amy Williams and a Fred, and you go out and you let those people go out, hit the scene, make the connections, deal with the collectives, go build their own, and then bring Fred in for the sealing of the deals, or the sealing of the days, or the finalizing of the mission. You know what I'm saying? So that they can still focus on the task. I can only imagine how hard it is. You're trying to develop your team, but then you've got to go and also drive, all around the state to figure out some NIL situations, because you want to look out for your players and you want to be competitive in the marketplace.
You have to be
as well. You have to be these days. So, yes, it's costly, because but you want those buffers just as well as an AD would want a buffer with the president between the chancellors and to, between the head of the university. You know what I'm saying? Just all these little connective zones that are like spider tentacles or octopus tentacles, but you want to be able to have these to be able to mitigate just all of the craziness that would come with it. Like, I can understand Trav probably having freaking a treasure trove of issues on his desk that there's no buffers. There's no helping hands to really, deal with some of these issues.
One of those issues was no president in place. And we don't have to get into depth on this, but I want to make sure that we get our thoughts out there if we have them. Jeffrey Gould, who was the chancellor of the Med Center, has been named the priority candidate to take over as University of Nebraska system president, so replacing Ted Carter. And there were rumblings on social media today that Dr. Gold was Trev Albert's preferred choice for president, which leads me to this conclusion, or this question, I should say. What took the Board of Regents or the decision makers so long to settle on the safe choice? Because I don't think Jeffrey Gold is an outside the box hire. He's already in the system. He's been there for a long time. And sure, the familiarity, the familial nature of it, I can see why they would choose him to slide in there. But if he's the safe choice and he's already there,
why did it take?
Did you need to make it take that long and lose an athletic director and go through the search? Maybe Trev was gone anyways. But if this was his guy and you could have kept him and you think he's a better AD than Troy Dannon, that's even more egg on your face that you took this long to make the choice that was right in front of you the whole time.
There it is. A great point. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of questions out there with regard to that. I mean, why would it take so long? And listen, again, I still believe that there was a lot of more things that were going on, because on the onset of it, it just did not make sense for Trev to buy. It had to have been not one thing, not probably even two things. It had to be a multiple, just things that were happening around that maybe you made promises of, or maybe you stated, or maybe you said, or maybe you, basically spoke that you would do or handle, and you didn't. And at that point, it's like any relationship, right? I mean, if your boyfriend, your husband, if you consistently are saying, I'm going to do this, I'm going to handle that, I'm going to take care of this, I'm going to make sure that's done, and none of it gets done, at some point there's going to be frustration, and you're going to want to walk away. And you're not going to just want to stay in that pigsty.
Mm-hmm. The other news of the day here, while we have a couple minutes, Dylan Raiola throwing it pro day. We heard from Evan Bland that was the case. I think there's a lot of ways to spin this, Strick. My first gut reaction is that's a great sign that Nebraska would put him in that position to throw, that the upperclassmen, wide receivers, tight ends, or running backs want him throwing them the ball, even though they're going out and he's coming in. Is there anything more to it than, hey, he's just here, he's available, he had the best schedule this day? Is there a bigger picture behind Dylan Raiola being the guy to throw at pro day today?
I think this is a great question for Jay to have, as well. Me just being a multi-sport guy, I look at it from a standpoint, and I kind of try to look at a big picture or step outside of it, not just look at the small microcosm of the situation. I look at it from a standpoint of, there's something we saw last year, for example, right? We saw a lot of promotion. We saw a lot of people pumping and priming for Bo Nix, for the Heisman. You saw billboards and all kinds of things. You know what I mean? All this promotion and, Penix, and you always see Caleb and commercials and all this stuff. To me, it's a way of really subtly putting your top tier guy in the eyes of the next level guys, and just kind of start that process of letting them kind of see him and letting them observe him, so that now they're watching, they're already here. You don't have to just see it on tape. The tape is just going to bring to conclusion maybe what you see in this pro day and what you see. So you're going to probably see him in another pro day, maybe his own pro day at some point. But the seeds that can be planted in these early stages can start to prepare, because the more your quarterback shines, the more opportunities for wide receivers to want to come, the more opportunities for people that would desire to play with you, the more opportunities for an offensive tackle, offensive guard, center to want to, be a part of what's happening with this particular quarterback. And so I think sometimes that's something that goes on that's just real subtle that you don't really think about.
So to make sure we're on the same page here, you're saying it's less about the 2024 team and more about setting the table for the future?
I think so. I think so. I mean, I think it could be a combination of both, but I think it's some seed planting. Yeah.
Interesting. I like your idea. Let's get Jay's thoughts on it with the crossover next.
This is Monster Jam. Witness big air, two-wheel skills, backflips, and all-out racing.
It's the only place to see the world's best drivers tear up the dirt in your favorite Monster Jam trucks, like Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Megalodon, and more. It's big-time fun for the whole family. Monster Jam, as big as it gets. Coming to Pinnacle Bank Arena March 29th and 30th. Brought to you by BKT Tires, Great Clips, and the original Super Glue.
Mosaic is a nonprofit, whole-person healthcare organization that embraces God's call and relentlessly pursues opportunities that empower people with diverse needs to live their best lives. Mosaic in Southeast Nebraska, serving Lincoln and Beatrice, would like to invite you to their monthly Discover the Possibilities tour events. Events are held on the third Wednesday of every month and are a great way to understand Mosaic's mission. To RSVP, please contact Melindy at 402-429-0088 or visit mosaicinfo.org/Southeast Nebraska. Attention all Nebraska basketball fans. The NCAA tournament is coming soon, and Nebraska looks to be on its way to their first appearance in 10 years. Better Tree Removal wants to celebrate the occasion and any possible success in the tournament by offering a deal. If you're in need of tree removal on your property, call or text Todd by March 20th. If Nebraska wins the first round game, you'll get 25% off the bid. If they win two, you'll get 50% off. You must contact Todd at 402-780-1377 before March 20th.
Spring often marks the beginning of severe weather, which can lead to power outages. LES wants you to be prepared before the storm. Restock your emergency kit, update your info with LES, and if you encounter an outage, report it at les.com/report.
Ever wish you had another light switch on the other side of the room on a dark night? How much better would you sleep at night if you had a ceiling fan in your room? The High Electric Service Department is here to make your electrical what-ifs a reality. Whether you're looking to replace some outdated light fixtures or brighten up your counters with under-cabinet lighting, High Electric can handle all types of residential electrical installations and services. Give Erica a call at 402-466-6606 or visit high-electric.com to get started.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock, A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. The last few years have been wild, but we've been here for you through all the ups and downs, and we'll be here for you when you need us the most, for all your travels and for your day-to-day driving. With winter conditions causing problems all over town, the last thing anyone needs this year is constant car troubles. Let us help you drive in peace and make sure you drive to work and to winter destinations safe. A1 Automotive, 11th and L Street downtown, always honest answers.
Hey there, fellas. It's your girl Jordan with Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Women may be complicated, but I make sure buying jewelry isn't. Your gal has a style, and you can figure this out. Is she more of a classic necklace kind of gal, or does she rock the boho chic vibe with layers of delicate bracelets? This is crucial intel. Not trusting your intel? Stop in the store and we'll sort out the details. I promise to make this super easy. Until next time, this is Jordan at Sartor Heyman Jewelry. Happy shopping, guys.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
Forget the lame excuse this year. Your boss already knows why you can't make it to work for those magical 2 days in mid-March. Join 93.7 The Ticket on Thursday and Friday, March 21st and 22nd at Buffalo Wings and Rings at 68th and O for March Mayhem. Come early on Thursday and get a ping pong ball with a lucky team on it. And stay all day for prizes throughout and buzzer beater upsets. It's March Mayhem with 93.7 The Ticket for the NCAA tournament at Buffalo Wings and Rings, 68th and O.
How do people feel about getting Big Fitness Energy at Planet Fitness for $1 down and $10 a month? They feel as thrilled as a kid the first summer they're tall enough to ride the roller coaster! That's right. When you join Planet Fitness right now, you'll get access to tons of equipment and free fitness training in a clean and spacious club. Don't wait. Join the judgment-free zone today for that all-day energy. Download the free Planet Fitness app and join today for $1 down, $10 a month.
Deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Drinking and driving causes serious harm to friends, family members, and loved ones. In 2021, 65 people were killed in Nebraska by a car crash involving a drunk driver. Do not drink and drive. By drinking less, you can still be here for your loved ones. If you or a loved one is looking for help, find a treatment facility near you at findtreatment.gov. For immediate support, call, text, or chat 988.
Brought to you by Nebraska DHHS in partnership with SAMHSA.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Strick and Austin and Jay. We call this a crossover. We're on the block, Strick and I. Jay Foreman, part of Old School with DP. Welcome back, Jay.
What's going on, fellas?
Here we are, face to face. You said it was going to happen yesterday.
Oh, I'm a man of my word.
Dang.
Yeah, I'm a man of my word.
You got a crystal ball? What you got going on over you? You got a lot of insight, my boy.
I just stand on my business, and I'm a man of my word.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
No, I'm saying.
I would tell you the reason why they say man of your word, but then I might get in trouble. But so I'll just say I'm standing on business.
Is it a pause moment?
No, okay. I don't want to.
Is it a moment?
No,
Yeah.
I wish it was.
Not really the news of the day. I'm sure we'll get to that in Old School. Dylan Raiola throwing at Pro Day. Is there anything more to it than, I guess, let me phrase it to Strick. Does this say more about the 2024 Huskers, or is it setting the table for something bigger?
Maybe a little bit of both. I mean, Dylan grew up in an NFL locker room. I know Daniel Kalen was over there too, so it's a good experience for all the, especially for those two to experience the Pro Day. I think one of the best things that way we used to do Pro Day was our Pro Day, our Pro Day for the guys that are going pro were mixed in with the underclassmen running too.
Mm.
So the pressure of going in to perform, that's why you always tell Nebraska players always perform well, because we had went through pro days before. We did all those drills in front of all the scouts. So the same time like Lawrence Phillips ran, Mon Green or whoever ran, we ran. So it was, I think it's great, for Dylan and those guys to throw. And, look, the good scouts definitely keep their eye on, keep track of, where quarterbacks are, but nothing that you do in your first or 2 years in college really matters. It's generally your last third year. And if you come out after 3 years, then you better had a pretty substantial jump from your middle of your second year to your third.
I assume everyone was involved in making the decision to put Dylan out there, between him, Coach Rule, Coach Thomas, even the players he's throwing to, right? They had really good things to say about him. Like, they could have said, oh, we're comfortable with Heinrich because he was here last year.
Hey.
I didn't say it. You're looking at it all.
I'll do you like this. Excuse me, Strick. I'm going to take your sunglasses. I don't even wear nothing like these. These are like some Oakleys. This is like how my dad used to do me when I say something. He asked me why you was late to school, got a bad grade, and I had to start coming with the excuses. Take from whatever you want. I think it's, look, you only got one time to get in front of the scouts. Dylan's done this type of throwing routine, probably in his sleep. Probably the best option, him and Daniel Kalen. And then this also fits right where they came from. 7-on-7 training with high school and college athletes. It's actually the easier choice because this is what they are freshly coming from. They, that's just what they do. If they were still in high school, like right now, if you're in high school, this is what they do. Now, they don't do all the testing, but as far as throwing and the route stuff, this is what they do because they got to go and play 7-on-7, on the weekends. So it's just like, AAU, but it's just, football.
You did mention your dad. Nice picture of the two of you getting together. You meet that photo bomber?
I didn't meet him. It's funny that he's one of my good friends' coworker.
No way.
Yeah. So if you look at the comments, the dude was like, "Hey man, I think that's my ex-coworker." And then he texted. So then he sent me a screenshot of the text between him and the coworker, and that was just the funny thing about it. But it was a good deal.
That's funny. That's his restaurant.
No, it's not my dad's restaurant. We just
restaurant.
Yeah, a restaurant right by his house and right by the airport. And then we went from there and did some stuff. I had to do a speech at St. Thomas and
University, the Tommies.
Yes, the Tommies. Yeah. And then hit it on back.
I don't think we've talked enough, just in general as a society, about the jump that they made from D3 to D1.
Yeah.
I mean, they were killing D3, not just killing it, but killing the entire D3 ecosystem.
Yeah.
With how good they were.
Yeah.
And now they're still solid at the D1 level.
Yeah.
Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, they were beating people where like they said, it was an unfair advantage. They were getting a lot of transfers from Power 5s and, just doing well. And, it was good up on them. They have a great campus. I know Chase Nelson's going up there to play baseball. It's a great part of the city of the Twin Cities, and they have great alumni and great college system up there.
What's coming up on Old School?
Well, obviously we got a new AD, potentially another president, right? And then just initial thoughts on that and what it means for Nebraska possibly, and then also we're getting closer to March Madness tipping off. March Madness memories. And then we'll touch a little bit on spring ball because pro day is kind of like the cherry on top before you start putting on the pad and start clanging helmets.
Clanging.
Yeah. You got clanged up. Yeah, Strick.
I want to see you both put one of those on and go at it. We'll clear the chairs.
That hurts too much. Those things hurt too much.
Yeah, I'd be too sore for about.
Yeah, man. Those you have to build
excuses.
It's like
excuses.
It's like for people that go to those cycling classes, you got to build up a tolerance to putting that bad boy on.
Yeah,
you do. Because it hurts, man. When every year when you first get back in the camp.
Woo. That part.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, Wings and Rings.
Yeah.
We're there for the tip-off of the first game.
First
even before.
in your eye.
10 o'clock. See us out there. Early. We will be there. Stricky will be there before you go.
My bracket's done.
You haven't even started yet. Oh, I think. Oh, yeah. You got to put together. It's not busted.
I got to put together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's busted. Stricky and I went through it. It's busted. You're beating Stricky in the competition this year. I saw it. So take some pride in that. Don't go anywhere. Old School DP&J. Next.
All right.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through March 24th, enjoy Lincoln's favorite 8-ounce bacon-wrapped sirloin or 4-ounce fresh salmon portions for $3.99 each. Get ahead for your Easter dinner with Fairway Pit hams, fresh lamb roast, or ribeye roast. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
How do people feel about getting big fitness energy at Planet Fitness for $1 down and $10 a month? They feel as thrilled as a kid the first summer they're tall enough to ride the roller coaster! That's right. When you join Planet Fitness right now, you'll get access to tons of equipment and free fitness training in a clean and spacious club. Don't wait. Join the judgment-free zone today for that all-day energy. Download the free Planet Fitness app and join today for $1 down, $10 a month.
Deal ends soon.
See Home Club for details.
Plains Cover Crop is your one-stop seed shop. Call us now for spring and summer forages, CRP mixes, and fall cover crop blends. We do farm-specific consulting for practical and efficient seed blends to fit your geography and goals. With a very diverse inventory, we will tailor a blend just for you. We're also looking for contract growers, and we buy and sell rye. Find us online at plainscovercrop.com. Timeless agronomy practices paired with modern technology. East Highway 20 in Orchard and across Nebraska.
Prashawn Jackson here for Bauer Underground, who has been serving local contractors and utility contractors all across the state since 1997. When you see the black and white trucks, you know the baddest dudes in the business have arrived. Bauer is currently looking for equipment operators, laborers, diesel mechanics, and aerial linemen. Join the brotherhood built on hard work, authentic people, and pedigree of success. Bauer, a family-friendly company who reminds you, go Big Red!
Working at Continental in Lincoln isn't a job, it's a career. And right now, they've raised wages again, and they're hiring for production operators at 24/7